today's lesson, we're going to look at the differences in sound between three very different electric guitars. All three of these guitars have totally unique sounds with different designs and different pickups. The point of this lesson will be to learn how we can use these different sounding instruments layered together in a track. Hopefully this will give you a better understanding of the changes in tone between different types of guitars and different types of pickups, and how you can use these tones in a real-world situation. My name is Jack Ruch. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into it. So the three guitars we're going to use in this video are a Telecaster with traditional Tele style single coil pickups, a Gibson ES335 with humbucking pickups, and this SG with P90 pickups. Now what we're going to do is play over a track that I've written with three different guitar parts, and we're going to experiment around with using each of these different guitars to cover each part. There's going to be a low muted eighth note part, an open ringing chordal part, and a lead melody part. And along the way, we'll discuss some things to keep in mind when you're choosing the right guitar. So to start out, I'm going to play the middle part of these three guitar parts. This is the open ringing chordal part, right? Below this, we're going to add a chunky low eighth note part, and above this, we're going to add a single note melody part. But this is a pretty simple part. We're just playing these nice chords and letting them ring out open for one measure each. But while this is pretty simple rhythmically, these chords hold a lot of the harmonic color that's going to color this section of the music. So to start out, I'm playing my Telecaster on the neck pickup, and I'm not going to change any of the amp settings or pedal settings throughout this entire video. So we can really focus on the sounds of these guitars. But I do have a few pedals on the floor I'm going to engage for the different parts. The amp that I'm using is my Headstrong Princeton Reverb style amp, and on the floor I've got a Keeley Halo delay, a Duelist overdrive, and a Silkworm overdrive. All the links to all this gear I'm going to put down in the description. But to start out, we're on the Telecaster, and I'm just clean into the amp with a little bit of delay. So this next part we're going to add is a low chunky eighth note part. This is going to provide a little rhythm to start pushing things along. And for this I'm going to grab my ES335 and go to the bridge pickup and click on a little dirt from the left side of the Duelist pedal. Now when you're playing a low eighth note part like this, it's nice to use the brighter sounding bridge pickup so things don't get too muddy in the mix. So for the third part, I'm going to add a single note melody part to this. And for this, I'm going to grab my SG, I'm going to be on the neck pickup, and I'm going to click on a little dirt from the Silkworm pedal. This is a very creamy and fat sounding overdrive pedal that works really great for this part. So now that we've worked through these three parts individually, let's hear this entire piece played through with these three different guitar sounds. So this first combination of guitars was really where my instincts led me. The clear sound of the telly for the clean chordal part, the chunky fat sound of humbuckers for that low driving part, and the mid-rangey vocal sound of P90s for that lead melody part. But let's see what happens when we change things up completely. This time I'm going to use this SG for the clean chordal part. I'm going to use my telly for the low chunky part, and I'm going to use the 335 for the melody part. Now this actually surprised me because this turned out to be my favorite of the three combinations, and not something I necessarily would have fallen into without trying it. So here we go. Let's play through the track again with this different combination of guitars. So let's do one more combination of guitars. This last combo is going to be the 335 for the clean chordal part, this SG for the low chunky part, and the telly for the lead melody part. Now I should say you can do this kind of experimentation with any guitars you have. The reason I'm using these three particular guitars is because this is what I've got on hand. But if you've got a Strat, you can try that. If you've got a Gretsch, try that. You can even try this kind of thing with just one guitar by changing up different pickup configurations and experimenting with different settings on your amps or pedals. But here we go. Here's round 3 of our little guitar layering experiment. So this demonstration really comes down to listening, to how these three guitar sounds interact with one another in the track. And ultimately, it's up to you to decide which you like best. But my hope is that this demonstration gives you some insight in how to think about choosing guitars when you're putting together a track like this. Until next time, happy practicing and take care.